Welcome back to ARC Salt Lake, where we cover authentic, relevant, and community stories. It is 7:30 on this Wednesday. We're shining a community spotlight on Salt Lake City Police Chief Brian Redd, joining us live. He was sworn in March 5th to take over the largest police department in the state. Prior to becoming chief, he was the executive director of the Utah Department of Corrections.
That's quite a resume.
Some
we'll
big
talk
jobs.
a little bit about that. Chief Redd joins us now. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Great to be with you, Ron and Mary.
So how is it leading the Salt Lake City Police Department now?
It's great. I'm happy to be here serving the residents of Salt Lake City and serving our officers and professional staff.
And tell us a little bit about yourself. Why did you want this job?
Well, I want to make a difference. I think we get into public service to make a difference, and so I'm here to do that.
Okay, you have an impressive resume here. 21-year career with the Department of Public Safety. You were a state trooper, worked your way through the ranks, eventually becoming the director of State Bureau of Investigation. Wow. You have a master's degree in public administration.
And that experience probably helps you in every category as chief.
You know, it's interesting to be working in different parts of the criminal justice system. You know, in corrections, in law enforcement, even some private sector experience, which was very helpful. And you know, it's been a great career, and I've been very fortunate. And just want to do a good job for the citizens of our state and now the residents of Salt Lake City. Has
it helped you in all those different areas, like connect with people in different cases? I mean, even different employees.
Yeah, I think it's been very helpful, you know, especially most recently in the Department of Corrections, because, you know, I was able to spend time with incarcerated individuals, understanding the challenges. They made some serious mistakes, but understanding the way back, you know, 96% of them are going to be back into society. And so how do we prepare them to get ready? And now, you know, here at the Salt Lake City Police Department, many of these individuals, it's almost the flip side of the coin in some ways, where we have people on the streets of Salt Lake City who have challenges that we need to help them through those challenges and make our city safer. So, yeah, a lot of good experiences, and the complexities that I learned in corrections and with Department of Public Safety, we continue to do the work.
Yeah, some broad experience there. Okay, let's talk about some of the issues here. Mayor Mendenhall tapped you for the job not long after the state delivered some tough scrutiny against the Salt Lake Police Department, even the governor. So what didn't the state like about the department, how it was functioning, and how are you going to fit into this?
Yeah, I think that's probably a great question for state and state leaders. Right. What I would say in my conversations with Mayor Mendenhall, we talked a lot about the public safety plan before I took the role and how important that was to her and to the city. And actually, I weighed in on the public safety plan from the angle of the Department of Corrections. Some of her staff had reached out to ask some questions on because it's an integrated system, the criminal justice and social services system. So number one is the public safety plan and how we can accomplish that. Number two is she asked me to, you know, leverage partnerships, leverage my experience to bring people together, to deal with these challenging issues that we're having in Salt Lake City and our streets, and not just in Salt Lake City, but across the state with the fentanyl and the methamphetamine crisis we're experiencing.
So what are you doing differently then? And what are your top priorities that you need to work on now?
Well, I think the top priorities that I would say, number one, is coming in and listening to our officers and professional staff, figuring out how we can support them, get them the tools and resources they need to help. Then, if we take good care of our officers, they take care of the community. So that's a number one priority. Number two is engaging with our community, getting out and learning what our community needs, how we can support them. That's another one. Number three would be innovating. In any organization, whether you're in government or the private sector, you constantly have to innovate and improve your processes. So that's a high priority. And then last is just, you know, Salt Lake City is changing and evolving, and so just preparing and keeping up with those changes leading up to the Olympics is going to be another high priority.
Yeah, leading up to the Olympics. Yeah.
Okay, the criticism that came up over the years is response times. I'm sure you've heard that criticism before. Right around 10 minutes to respond to a call. What's being done maybe to make that a little faster?
Well, right now I'm doing an internal evaluation of our resources. Number one, we need to make sure that we're as efficient and effective with the current resources that we have. So, I'm down on the ground listening to the officers. I'm seeing what types of calls are coming out, how they're being responded to, listening to officers on their ideas on how we can improve response times. And that's something that we'll always be committed to do. If we get it down to 9, we're going to strive to get it down to 8. And then when we get it down to 8, and down. So just becoming efficient and effective. Once we do that, if I'm confident that we're as efficient as possible, then if additional resources are needed, we'll go to the mayor and to the city council and ask for those additional resources. And they've been very supportive in this first couple months.
Several years ago, you helped head up an operation which involved the state, Operation Rio Grande. It took a number of years to work your way through that, but the experience you had there and maybe some of the shortcomings of that operation, how is that going to help you? Because a lot of the same issues still exist.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a catalyst into my time at the Department of Corrections and now here at the Salt Lake City Police Department. You hear it often, but we can't arrest our way out of these issues. But arrest is going to be part of the solution, getting people off the streets and getting them the help that they need once they're put in jail. If we can divert before arrests, we need to find pathways for that as well. But yeah, my time during Operation Rio Grande, there were some good things. There were some things that could be improved. But it really comes down to bringing people together, bringing the criminal justice and social services systems together, and really working together. And that's what I'm committed to do. The drugs are so powerful today; it's very hard for people to choose treatment, even if it's available to them, because of the addictiveness of the drugs. So we have to work on various pathways off the streets and into help.
Well, it sounds like not as much punishment as getting the help that's there. And the mayor launched her public safety plan right before you were named. You didn't have to be a yes man, though. You have a plan that works with her plan, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna work on the public safety plan. As we go through that plan, just like any plan, if we need to make adjustments, I'll be proposing those to the mayor, and we'll just continue to work to make our streets safer, but very importantly, helping these individuals who are out there in very tough situations.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate you spending some time with us here this morning. When they took the vote from the city council to approve you being the police chief, there was one city council member said, out of everything that's been going on, we didn't hear one bad thing about Brian Redd.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'm just here to make a difference, be committed to listening to everyone and working together. That's what I'll do my best to do.
Okay. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for
and
having
good luck.
me. I appreciate it. Yep.